Sitting in the back bench, a little chubby boy began to sketch in his book. He was creating memories to be shared as stories. His greatest hobby was to collect comics that had brilliantly portrayed characters.
I still remember in Wednesdays we used to have Chitrahar on Doordarshan. So Chitrahar mein if they are showing old films, they would just show the name. But if they are showing a song from a new film, they'll show a poster for a few seconds. And I used to be, every day I'm running to the TV room to just see that poster so that I could get a glimpse of a poster of that film.
He would secretly fill his room with newspaper clippings of movie posters. As what fascinated him the most was how you can tell a story in a picture. While in India, a topper means tech or medicine, he chose art, going by the greatest fascination of telling a story in a picture. Presenting to you a skill-hungry, simple man who does wonders with his creativity. Our own poster junkie, Raj Khatri.
Raj, welcome to Success Stories.
Yeah, hi.
So this is a small little initiative that we have taken to help youngsters identify their passion and then make it like a profession. Like how people like you have, come your own way, carved your own path, and you're doing what you love the most. So just to get a small understanding how the journey has been for you this far, I have a couple of questions which has been sent to us by students, some of them parents and young boys who are 14, 15, 16 years who really want to have a profession like yours. So I just wanted to know, like, in your childhood, how were you? Did you really know that there is something like this, there is a profession like this in the market, and you
Okay,
end up being doing?
yeah. So it's a very interesting, funny, and a very interesting story. I was in class 3 or class 4, and from that point, I was in love with movie posters.
Okay.
So we had I was raised in a boarding school, so we used to have a newspaper reading table. There used to be a table where every day they used to put a newspaper to read, and that was meant for us to improve our vocabulary and all that.
Okay.
So my friends and all, they used to go and read the newspaper for sports scores. But I was not the sports geek. I was to only go and see that newspaper to see the movie posters. Those movie listings where they show theater listings, the
Okay.
small black and white miniature version of the posters. And
Okay.
I would just love to see them. And what I loved about it was that one small image promises me of a film. Of promises me what the film will give to me. I can choose that this is for me or this is not for me. I would be interested in the action films, and I would not love those family films or romantic films. I would be really avoiding those horror films. So stuff like that. I used to really find very interesting how this small image makes me understand the film.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what this art form is. I didn't know what, but I used to love that. And
Okay.
during those days, Doordarshan, there used to be Chaya Geet, Chitrahar.
Okay.
Okay, every Wednesday it used to come, and they used to show 4 or 5 songs. So if
Okay.
they are showing old songs, they used to just write the name of the film. But if the song is from a new film, they used to show the poster of the film, and then the song used to come. So
Okay.
I used to be excited, that, yeah, they should show some new film so that I can see the poster.
Uh-huh.
So stuff like that. I was that inclined, but I didn't know what this art form is. I didn't know what's the path. I was always good in academics, and I was very good in illustration, drawings, and art and craft in my school. I was always the one who was sent to take part in drawing competitions. I was the one to take initiative in drawing charts for science. exhibition and drawing charts for lab and stuff like that. So, and I was the one who used to write names in friends' book and greeting cards for their girlfriends and stuff like that. So I was that kid. So I was always inclined towards this thing, and I really didn't know what this is called. So what I used to do in my free time, and I was a backbencher, so I used to like think of a film scene. I used to try to draw that scene in my book, or I
Mhm.
would like to draw a film logo, a film title in my book, stuff like that. I used to do. So
Okay.
from there, I think this germ started in. From there it started into me. Yeah.
Okay, so you just mentioned that you were a backbencher. See, what happens is here, no, like whenever students come with an idea of making a form of art as a profession, most of the time the parents try to, connect that, telling, people who are really good with studies don't get into this kind of job. So I just want you to
Yeah.
elaborate on that. See, how
So
beautiful is this field? How wonderful
I'll
is
tell you what, any art field is very different from an academic field, because academic field will always be dictated by your marks, by your mark sheets, by your performance in a competitive measure. But art field will be just dictated by your own interest.
Okay.
If you are interested, then there is no limit. There is no limit, because then the timing doesn't apply to you. The stress, so called, doesn't apply to you, because you're enjoying what you're doing. Yes, when you get into professional field and you get into competitive market, it becomes very stressful, because it's a commercial market. You have to deliver in time. You have to uh, do certain things which are not possible when you think, and then but you have to push yourself. But apart from all that, if you really love what you're doing, and then I think everything becomes a kind of a part of the game. You kind of go with it, and if you enjoy it. My primary thing, what I tell or people also to come and who come and ask me, is that in today's day and age, people are very eager to become famous. I tell them, be skill hungry and not fame hungry. If you're skill hungry and you run behind a skill, the fame and everything will follow. It's a byproduct. It's not. I mean, immediate fame, yeah, you may get from platforms like YouTube and TikTok, but sustainability, you can't make a career out of it if you don't have something in you. And that something is, I don't say it's talent. I think it's a dedication, and be ready to sacrifice your life for that. It's the dedication. Talent is very overrated. Everybody says talented is talent. No, talent doesn't get shit done. What gets shit done is you have to get up every day and strive for something, and be ready to strive so hard that you are sitting and doing thing while your friends are going and having party. If you
Okay.
can sacrifice all that and put your hours and hours of practice into art, any art form, then there will be a time when you will be way ahead of others, because you're not in that race. You're just chasing your own self. I mean, that's how I've kind of followed my life. Yeah.
So, when you decided to choose this path, like I am talking about Indian students and our family and
Hmm.
our culture, we are very academics oriented. And you
Yeah,
already
I know, I
said
know.
that, like you were good with your studies, though you said you're a backbencher, you were good academically.
Yeah,
Also,
I was the top three ranker. Yeah.
okay. And then how did you convince your parents, or like how were your parents reacting to your ideas of choice of profession?
So with me, it happened was, actually I'm not formally trained in art. I'm
Okay.
a self-learned artist. I
Okay.
was doing my science in second year BSc. I quit college.
Okay.
I was doing BSc, and in second year I realized whatever I'm doing is waste of time, because neither I'm enjoying it, neither I'm understanding it. I'm just doing it because it's meant to do, and
Okay.
my heart is not there. Every day I was getting up like a zombie, coming to college, doing my practicals, doing my theory. I was not enjoying any bit of it.
Okay.
And that was a time like 20 years back, something, a personal tragedy happened in the family, and there was a lot of financial pressure also. So at that point in time, I said, well, I lost my dad actually that time that happened, at a very young age. And that time I thought this is a great moment to go out and do something that can maybe earn me something also, and I can take up this profession. So that's when in second year BSc, I did the first semester, and after the first semester, I just didn't go to college. My mom was very worried. She was like, "What will you do? And you should have a degree and all that." I just told her, just give me some time. I think I'll figure out. I have something in my mind. Just let me be. But yeah, the things were not that easy as I said, because as I said, we were in a very financial mess, and I had a younger brother who was in school and all that. So, but yeah, I think universe works in mysterious ways. If
Okay.
you really want to do something, and then the path comes around. Yeah. So convincing was not that much of an issue because my parents were not that very academically sound themselves, like the older generation. They were not very learned themselves. So all they knew was whatever was happening around, they would ask me. This is because that point in time, software engineering was the biggest boom. That was the green thing. That was where the money was. Like today, UX, UI, and data analysis is the biggest boom that people are running in that direction. At that point, software engineering was there. And the course I wanted to do to learn this Photoshop and all this multimedia stuff was almost the fees of a software engineer.
Okay.
So I just told my dad was there then when I was joining this institute, and I told him, okay, please let me do this because this is where I'm interested. If that you ask me to do, I will do it, but I would never be interested. So if I'm interested, then a duration of time will not apply to me. I
Okay.
think something he saw in me and he let me do that. And from there, my journey started. Yeah.
So, what would you tell those young boys who are actually in that struggling phase of being forced academically and they want to tell their parents, like open their heart out and say, this is what I love to do and like, please let me do this. So, how can they prove or how can they put across? I am asking you this because
See,
our society is so
uh
it.
I know. So I'll tell you what. Like today, there are a lot of amazing things happening in the world. Amazing things. And the best part is we all are aware and connected to each other. Like 20 years back then, there was no information available about anything that you have to like really scoot in and get books and look for magazines, go to this Raddiwala, find old books and stuff like that. Today, it's just everything is one click away. And you can connect to every kind of artist, you can connect to every kind of professional, you can write a mail, see their videos, whatever. So what I'm saying is, what I meant by that is, uh, if you are really interested in any art form, let's say you are interested into fashion designing, let's say, okay, a very middle class parents, a middle class educated household parent would not understand this profession because it has a certain stigma to it. People think it's a very frivolous lifestyle, it's a very glamour and people whatever. So what you do is you find a case study. You find a case study of a person that has really made it well, and you have to give time. You have to like research on it. Find 3 or 4 case studies of you will find in every profession. Okay, somebody of like you, similar to you, of similar background, of similar mindset has made it big. Show that case study. Show that to your parents. This is what this person was. He started 10 years back when this was that. See where he's come now. And see, this is, and if money is the matter, see, this is how much he's making. This is his lifestyle.
Okay.
So what happens is parents will get a certain kind of security that this is possible. You know, like people want to become actor, and 100 people, because I belong to movie industry, that's what I'm saying. 100 lakhs of people come from small town to Bombay or to South to become actor. And why? Because they have a case study in front of them in the screen on the screen.
Right.
They have seen actors who have come from nowhere and made it big. The parents have seen that, but parents also know the adverse side of it, so they say no. But sometimes we'll convince them. See this like all many like Akshay Kumar sir or Shah Rukh sir or many big actors who have come from like really modest background and they have made it big, and people want to like think. Everybody thinks if they can work, maybe I can also make it big. So that was an example of a very mainstream industry. But I'm saying if any niche you want to do anything niche which is really offbeat, you have to find a case study at least or research about something and show couple of those examples to your parents. You have to educate them. Today I can converse with somebody in America who's doing the same profession. I can speak to somebody in France who is an illustrator. I can see his Insta stories and understand his psychology. I can see some artist based in Belgium and understand his process. So everything is there at my dispense. I can live those experiences without actually going there. So if you have to educate your parents with right medium of things, I think many of them will understand, because they will also there are two things. They will see your passion because you went your way out and researched, and they will also see an example of what are the possibilities. So I think that should be an approach.
Okay. So again, like there are some of them who are able to recreate an art as it is. but there is a lack of idea which is there in them. So what would you suggest for that age group, probably in 16, 17, 18 years old, who are saying, I can draw
So
well, but how to come up with ideas? So any tips
so
for them?
ideas, so ideas, I'll tell you what ideas. What is ideas? We are living in 2021. We are living in an age where anything and everything is already done. We
Mhm.
are living in an age where true originality is a myth. Nobody is original. Everything is a derivative of a derivative of a derivative. Everything, like anything you are creating, there will be some root to it in some form. Movies, music, stories, illustration, art, painting, everything. What matters in today's age is how you present in a new context,
Okay.
how you present or package it in a new context, in that requirement. Let's say there is illustration that was done in Japanese manga. People know it's done, everybody's done it and seen, it's nothing new and nothing original. If you get that art form and do a story based in, let's say, a small city in Tamil Nadu, and
Mhm.
do that kind of art form with the wardrobe of Tamil Nadu people, and suddenly it becomes unique.
Yes.
Okay, suddenly it becomes really interesting. Suddenly it becomes global, yet it becomes rooted because it's telling our story. So
Mhm.
that is what is it. You're adapting a style and you're getting it. So getting an idea, people think that one unidimensional idea, that big thing. No, it's not like that. I think it's more of amalgamation. It's like an alchemy. You have to read and understand a lot of things. You have to observe, and then you have to have an interest to kind of mix two things and get something. And at a very tender age now, a lot of things doesn't happen. I have seen from my example in
Mhm.
my 18 19 year of journey how I think today. I never used to think like that 5 years back, and 5 years before, and 5 years, and 20 years before. I was very naive, and a young mind is receptive of so many things. It cannot calculate many things wavefront. Today,
Right.
when a young kid will join my company, what he will take 2 days to crack, I will take maybe 2 hours,
Mhm.
because of experience, and secondly, of so much data that has gone into my mind already. you know the processing of understanding of things is miles ahead than a newbie.
Right.
Okay. So I think it comes and it matures with age. It comes with its age. So if primarily you are not able to crack great ideas, it's okay. Hone your craft. Craft is a half game. If your craft is great, ideas is in second part of it.
Mhm.
Okay. Equally, idea is a half game. If your idea is great but the craft of execution is bad, it won't complement.
Okay.
Both are needed. You should have an art and you should have a craft.
Mhm.
Okay. So whatever you do with your art form is a craft, and whatever you think is an art. So they
Mhm.
both go with hand in hand. I mean, that's what I believe.
Okay. So when you started off, you said like, you should be more skill hungry than fame hungry. So while you were much younger and you knew that you're going to choose this industry of glamour where you would be standing next to great, people who are celebrated all across. So wasn't that an attraction factor at all for you, even at that age? Wasn't it
No,
an
no,
attraction? It was only about
no, never. It was you. It's like uh, it's been 18 years I've been designing posters, and it's been 18 years I've been designing, and 16 years I've designed movie posters. I have worked for more than 130, 40 films, 350 movie posters I've released. You won't find a single picture of my on the internet with any actor. I
okay.
don't have a single picture. There is
Okay.
no pictures because I'm not attracted to actors. I'm attracted to posters. The
Okay.
idea of telling a story in a single frame is very exciting.
Mhm.
The idea of getting up in a morning, and it can be a potential day where you create an art form that can become a part of an history, a
Mhm.
movie history,
Mhm.
that can become a part of a pop culture history. Isn't it? It's a big excitement for me. Actors are part of that process.
Mhm.
And secondary is, if you're attracted towards actors, then you cannot have an objective mind to think of concepts. You will just be like finding ways to just be in that glamour circle.
Mhm.
And that is a very short lived life. That will never excite you after a while, because how can it be very so unidimensional, attached to one single person or multiple person? It has to be a larger purpose so that it excites you every morning. So what will excite you is what you create,
Mhm.
not what somebody else is showing. Because what I believe is, if you like a poster, if I design a movie poster and somebody remembers it even after the film went away, and even after and remembers it for its concept or an art and not beyond the actor's face, then I have done a good job.
Okay.
Otherwise else I am just a service person, I'm just servicing. Then I'm just doing a requirement. I'm a vendor.
Mhm.
I'm just a vendor. Then you have a requirement, I'm doing it, I'm giving it out. But when it seeps into that and you remember that poster after years, that is when I have connected with you.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so
just
that's
have
all.
a small little doubt here. Now, when you are designing a poster for a movie, you would definitely get input from the director and the team.
Yeah, of course, more than inputs.
So when